How many times have we looked at something in our lives and called it our greatest loss, only to find out later that it was actually our greatest blessing? The truth is, we can never truly judge life in the moment it arrives. Today's story is about a man who lost everything: his work, his dignity, his home. But he did not break. And when everything seemed to be over, life gave him something he had never even asked for. Watch this video till the end, because this story might just change the way you look at your life forever. A long time ago, in the foothills of the Himalayas, where the smell of wet earth after rain filled the entire air, and the sky was so deeply blue it looked like someone had painted it, there was a small village. At the edge of that village, near a dense forest of deodar trees, lived a woodcutter. His name was Kabir. Not rich, not famous, just a simple man, with his axe, his hands, and his integrity. Every morning, before dawn, he would rise. He would step into the cold forest air, and he would work through the day with one quiet hope that by evening, when he returned home, there would be food on the table and peace in his heart. That was all he wanted, and to him, that was enough. But one day, everything changed. He was working in the forest that morning when a large branch suddenly snapped, and Kabir's hand was caught beneath it. The pain was immediate and intense. He collapsed to the ground. The villagers came. Some helped, some only watched, and some whispered quietly among themselves, "His luck has always been bad. What will he do now? He is finished." But Kabir said nothing. He simply lay still, closed his eyes, and slowly took one long, deep breath. That night, when everyone had gone to sleep, Kabir lay alone beneath the open sky. His hand was wrapped tightly. The pain was sharp, but the pain inside, that was deeper. "What will I do now? What will my children eat? Everything I worked for, gone in a single moment?" He looked up at the sky. The stars were there, silent, unchanged. And for the first time, Kabir truly felt how alone a man becomes when his hands can no longer do the work they were made for. Weeks passed. His hand did not heal fully. He could not go into the forest. There was no wood to cut. Because there was no wood, there was no money. Because there was no money, he had to go to the village moneylender. The moneylender gave him a loan, but with interest. When he could not repay, a small piece of his land was taken. The village talked openly. "You see, Kabir's life is over. He will never recover from this." And Kabir heard every word, and said nothing, because he knew the people laughing now did not know the full story, because the full story was not over yet. Then one morning, when the first light was barely breaking through the darkness, and the mist still rested quietly on the tops of the trees, Kabir's son came running inside. "Father, come outside!" Kabir rose slowly. He opened the door, and what he saw, he could not believe. A merchant had stopped outside their home. The wheel of his cart had broken. He was searching for a craftsman, and everyone in the village had pointed him to Kabir. "He is the woodcutter. There is magic in his hands." Kabir smiled quietly. His hand still hurt, but his hand was still useful. He worked through the entire night. He fixed the cart. The merchant was so pleased that he did not only pay Kabir, he gave him the name of a friend, a merchant from a large city. And that night, Kabir sat with his son and said softly, "Son, time will tell. Be patient, be grateful, and keep your faith strong." That merchant's friend lived in the city. He called for Kabir. He gave him work. And in that city, Kabir's axe built something new, a new life. The villagers who had once said, "He is finished," now watched in silence as Kabir moved forward. And when had Kabir imagined any of this? When his hand broke? No. When his land was taken? No. When he wept alone in the night? No. The Stoic philosophers teach us this. The things we cannot control are not meant to be stopped. They are meant to be accepted. And that acceptance is not weakness. It is the greatest strength a human being can have. Life is like a river, sometimes straight, sometimes bending. You cannot see the turn that is coming, but the river never stops moving, and neither should you. The broken hand, the weeks away from the forest, the merchant's broken wheel. Everything was connected. It was all one chain, and every painful moment was the door to the next good one. Psychology tells us that the human brain feels loss almost twice as powerfully as it feels gain. This is called loss aversion. It is the reason Kabir's mind told him, "Everything is over," when his hand broke. It is the reason the villagers said, "He is gone." because we are all wired to feel the pain of the present moment far more sharply than the possibility of the future. But Kabir's patience was not just a habit, it was a superpower. Think about your own life for a moment. Did you ever lose a job and feel like the world had ended? Did a relationship fall apart and leave you certain that pain would never go away? Did you fail an exam and believe that nothing would ever work out for you? But was it truly the end? Or was something new quietly beginning? Something you simply could not see in that moment. Kabir taught us 3 things we can carry with us from this day forward. First, never treat any single moment as the final verdict. The story is not over yet. Second, the things that break us often build something new. Kabir's broken hand became the door to an entirely different life. And third, starting today, whenever something hard arrives, say these words to yourself. Time will tell, and then return to your work. Kabir still works today. There are marks on his hands, old scars from that injury long ago, but he does not hide them, because he knows those marks are his story, and that story gave him everything he never thought to ask for. There is only one question left. In your life, there must have been a moment when everything seemed lost, but later, it turned into a new beginning. Write that moment in the comments below. Your story might be the encouragement that someone else needs today. You are not alone. Time will tell. Be patient, be grateful, and keep your faith strong.